Part 4, My Mother the Narcissist. Trigger warning, more abuse. I don't know what I'm more anxious about, what's making me feel more crazy. Reliving this stuff, telling you guys, because it's got my heart pounding. Or the repercussions that I know I'm going to face from telling my truth, from telling my story and making it public. Because these are things that they've tried to keep secret forever. I remember always being told what happens in our home stays in our home. And while I do believe that there's some things that should stay within a family, like just not everybody needs to know about your daily in and outs and like your routines and stuff like that. I think we tell too much on social media nowadays as I sit here and tell my whole life story. But the reason we had that rule in the house was because there was abuse in the house. So where we left off was when I was smacked so hard by my stepdad that everything went pitch black for a good 30 seconds. And I was blinded. I remember, reaching out like this because I couldn't see anything. I was terrified. I really thought I had gone blind. And then my eyesight came back, and he was just freaking out, screaming at me. I remember I got a really bad ass whooping. And, mind you, this was still my mom's boyfriend at this time. And he would pull our pants down and whip our ass bare ass with his hand. And sometimes he would wet his hand to make it sting more. When I told my dad, Doug, about it, he tried to complain to the courts. He tried to file CPS reports and everything. And Maggie went to the courts and had the courts put it in the court order that she was allowed to spank us each twice on the butt. Which, of course, wasn't how it was happening. We were getting a lot more than that, and it wasn't her, it was Dio. As we got older, he progressed and changed to a dog leash. It was a cloth one, but he would whip us with a dog leash. Specifically Sabrina, she got it the worst. When she was little, she would wet the bed a lot. I'm talking like 3-4 years old. And Dio would make her stay in her peed and underwear all day because he thought she was doing it on purpose. And I remember whenever I come home, she would hide. She'd go hide under her bed. She would hide under the toy box. She would hide because she was afraid of him. Because he was always so scary. We never knew what mood he was going to come home in. Never knew if he was going to be angry, crazy, happy. Most of the time he was angry. My mom ended up getting, they got pregnant intentionally. They even had like a whole thing they involved us, me and Sabrina, in it. And my mom told us she was throwing away her birth control and that they were going to intentionally have a baby. And I remember being excited because I wanted a little brother, a little sister. I love little kids, always have. And so we ended up moving again into my stepdad's family home with his mom, Stella. And we'll touch on Stella a whole nother video. But this is where the abuse got really, really bad. At this time, Dio had made sure to force my dad, Doug, out. Was doing things like when he would call, he would pick up the phone and tell him, "These are my daughters now, don't ever call here again," and then hang up so that we couldn't talk to him. My dad would bring gifts over and leave them at the front door, and I was forced to throw them away on multiple occasions. Sobbing, throwing away makeup and jeans and stuff that my dad had left for me, all because Dio's jealousy of my dad. So we moved to a new house, and I got into trouble one time. I don't remember what it was for, but I had to go pick weeds outside, which whatever. But it was a winter morning, and I was forced to go out there barefoot and without any breakfast. And I picked, it was like 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, something like that. And the sun wasn't even up. And I picked and picked and picked and picked, probably till about 11. And when I was finally allowed to come in and eat, and I had to go wash my feet off in the shower first, my feet were red all the way up to the middle of my calf. And when I turned the hot water on, I couldn't feel it. My feet were like frozen solid. It took a good, 2-3 minutes before my feet started feeling again, and the water actually felt like hot. I probably damaged my feet just sitting there because I didn't put any cold water on. I only put on the hot because my feet were so cold. It was also at this house that Dio had a shop in the back. And, Sabrina and I had been encouraged to do stuff. I got seeds and started gardening because I really liked to garden. I planted gourds, and I thought I'd, make little bird planters out of them and paint them and sell them. I was going to be a little entrepreneur. Sabrina had baby chickens, and they had hatched, and she followed these things everywhere. I want to say she was about 4 or 5 years old, somewhere in there. I don't remember exactly. And the baby chickens, kept going into Dio's shed, his work area, and I kept telling her to get him out of there. And she wasn't listening very well, and they were around his feet, and he lost his temper, and he stomped them all to death, and then he made her clean them up. And I remember watching her broken little spirit clean up those babies, and she was so broken. I'm sorry, I gotta pause for a second. Sorry. Got a little too real for me in that moment. But I remember her watching her pick up those broken little bodies and throw them away in the trash, and she was just so devastated. She was a baby. She's a child. She didn't deserve that. There's more. There's so much more. And I'm gonna have to wait till part 5 to tell the rest. And I know I said I was gonna get it all done and not leave you guys on a cliffhanger, but I can't. I don't know if I'm ready to talk about the rest right now. I think I need a break. I might post part 5 later today, but I will probably post part 5 tomorrow. I got to get ready for work in a little bit, and this was a lot. I need to calm my emotions down and center myself. Thank you guys for coming along with me on this journey, and may God bless you.